1. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Convention Tea with Scarlett and Alice. Today we got Alice on our show. Glad to have you here again. It's been a while.
I know it's been a while. Super excited to be back too.
Awesome. And our summer of convention coverage has not stopped. Alice, she actually attended an event called FlameCon in New York, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Still there, Alice?
Yep, I'm still here.
Awesome. All right, we're going to talk about FlameCon. But first, before we go forward and talking more about FlameCon, we're going to just talk about a couple of our sponsors today. Convention Tea is brought to you by YMAC Sweater. You can use our discount code YMAC-Dame Asmal to get 40% off your entire purchase over at ymacsweater.com. I love this site for vintage, kind of vibey cardigans. You can get some cozy comfort clothes here. This is one of my favorite places to shop for cardigans for Lolita fashion and for vintage fashion. So, highly recommend ymacsweater.com for all your cozy needs. All right, so before we start off any episode of Convention Tea, a little bit about Scarlet Rhapsody. Scarlet Rhapsody, we've been a collective of convention reports, anime, pop culture, Comic Con, and anything in between since the early 2000s. We've been around since, like I want to say Anime Central 2001, and we just started like doing convention reports in 2003. All of our convention reports, the earliest we have on our website is 2003. However, that might change because I found my old photos from 2000, 2001, 2002. So check us out if you want to see some old convention stuff. Basically, we're a collective covering conventions from coast to coast. And something I realize, and I should really just give ourselves more credit for this. Scarlet Rhapsody is the one BIPOC queer owned website that has been covering conventions since the early 2000s. So that's also a bonus on us too. So just check out our website if you want to just see a history of fandom of the past 20 years. It's been a trip because I just kind of been looking at like some of my old photos from the mid 2000s. Like, oh my God, it was like the era where everyone was cosplaying from Naruto, Full Metal Alchemist, Bleach. Whoa, those give back some memories. And also, another thing I wanted to mention is my upcoming book. Now, I still have to find a publisher, but I am working on a book called The Fangirl Diaries: Finding Identity and Community Through the Rise of Anime Fandom at the Turn of the Millennium. I'm almost done with the first draft of this book. So close, hoping to get the first draft done by this weekend. And keep your fingers crossed because we are trying to look for a publisher that supports fandom and voices of fandom to publish this book. I really would like to have this book out sometime next year. And yeah, this would be a dream to have this published to tell my stories of finding who I am through the eyes of fandom, through the eyes of a fangirl at the turn of the millennium. All right, so let's talk about what y'all came for. FlameCon 2023. So, Alice, tell us about FlameCon, where it is, why did you decide to go, and how did you hear about it? Just tell us a little bit more about this convention for those of us who may not have heard of FlameCon.
Sure. And so FlameCon is created by a nonprofit organization called Geeks Out. And then this year it took place August 12th and August 13th. So it's a 2-day convention in New York City. And so the location's at Sheraton Times Square in Manhattan.
Oh,
So it's a very
nice.
central location. It's close to, if you're coming from, out of the city, it's really easy to get to from Port Authority or Penn Station. But also if you're in New York City, there's a ton of subways that go to Times Square.
Great. Yeah, and about how many people attended FlameCon this year?
I'm not sure how many people exactly, but it was definitely a full house. On Saturday, it seemed to be the more crowded day, and
Sure.
the exhibitors hall, it was more difficult to walk around because there was a lot of people. And then Sunday seemed a little bit quieter, but still a lot of people there.
Of course. Sounds like it was
And
pretty busy.
yeah, like I heard it was a small convention, so I wasn't sure what to expect, but it was actually bigger than I expected it to be.
Great.
But what makes FlameCon really unique is it's actually the world's largest queer Comic Con. So it's a Comic Con but focused on queer creators, which is really cool. So there's a lot of guests they invite who are queer creators in the space. So it's comics, arts, and entertainment across different genres. And then they showcase people who are from different areas of the LGBTQ community. They're also part of fandom.
Wonderful. Yeah, I would totally would have loved to have attended an event like this. We used to have something like this in LA called BentCon, but now they're defunct. But it's nice to have a space where you're able to have queer folks talk about their works and be seen and have their stories told.
Yeah, definitely. It was really exciting to see how everyone was coming together, and it felt really like a really safe space for everyone.
Wonderful. And it seems like you didn't have any problem going there. Just it sounds like you just take the subway. You're right there in Times Square.
Yeah, I just took the subway in, so it was pretty easy to get there. It was easy to find the hotel. So it was pretty simple. And I know that because it's at a hotel convention too, if you're coming from out of state, you could stay at that same hotel. It's literally just Sheraton Times Square. And
Hmm.
so they have like a room block that they have if you want to book at reduced rates.
Oh, wonderful. All right, let's kind of move forward with FlameCon here. So I know you sent me a couple photos from FlameCon, and the first photo we have here is you and your press badge. And it looks like, did they keep a mask policy?
Yeah, so at FlameCon, they still have a mask policy as well as checking vaccines. So to
Great.
get into a convention, you have to show that you are vaccinated. Or if you don't have the vaccine card, then you have to have like the negative COVID test. And I saw the testing kits there, like on the premises, but it's still a mask at all times policy. And so I don't know if you heard, but in New York recently there were some spikes again, so they were just taking extra precautions.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Like I
We're
heard
also
some
getting the
people
same
I
thing on the
knew got
West Coast
COVID
too.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Hmm.
So there's like some spikes coming back. So yeah, they made a mask on policy, so you had to wear a mask the whole time. And then except for like if you're eating or drinking, you can take it off. But like otherwise, you're walking around and stuff, you need to have masks on.
Got it. Got it. All right. So you entered in as press, got your vaccination, got your badge kind of like just covered. And next photo here is we have a cosplay is not consentum sign here. So tell me more about
Yeah,
the cosplay vibe of the con.
yeah. So there's a lot of cosplayers there, and I really loved how they have this big sign when you enter, talk about how cosplay is not consent. And I actually noticed that everyone's super respectful of this. Like, this is one of the first cons I've been to where no one took a photo without asking me. Like, everyone was respectful and did ask if they could take a photo before they do so.
Oh,
I
that's
know at some
nice.
conventions, they'd never ask. And as you know, in Lolita fashion, same thing. It's like super annoying. People just take pictures of you and you're like, hello. So everyone was super nice and they would ask first before taking pictures. And then, like, everyone looked amazing. And I just felt very safe there. Like, I never felt like there were any creepy guys who were trying to, like, touch me, which sometimes happens at other cons.
Ugh. Yeah, I hate it when that happens. And
Yeah.
yeah, what were you wearing on Saturday? It looked like you were kind of like wearing it your outfit reminded me of Nezuko in a way.
Oh yeah, the color schemes were like Nazca. I wasn't cosplaying on Saturday, so just wearing like just like straight fashion. It's actually the dress that I was wearing was actually a dress from a rental, and then you can sort of see I have a name tag also. So they gave out name tags too that you can write down your pronouns.
Oh, that's
So that's also
nice.
really cool because then you don't have to like actually they had them pre-made, so you can do like they had a whole bunch of different ones. So you pick the pronouns that you want and just put on the name tag.
Great.
And then those are our mascots that I took a picture with, and they're really cute.
Yeah,
With
like
all the rainbow.
yeah, I'm looking at your outfit again. It also reminds me of Kyrie from Kingdom Hearts because it has like the pink and you got the short brownish reddish hair. Yeah, like they got some neat mascots right here. I like how they kind of have like their publicity area where you can just take your selfies right there. It's like to say like, yeah, I was at FlameCon. Were there any
Yeah, it was really cute.
yeah, were there any events that you checked out at FlameCon, like just any like panels, any shows? What did they have to offer for attendees?
Yeah, so FlameCon has a lot of different events that go on too. So for programming, they had a pretty full schedule. And they also have a gamer lounge. So it's really cute for the gamer lounge. They spell it gamer like Gaymer, like gay gamer.
Oh, I love it.
So they have lots of games that you can play. And then for the schedule, they have different types of events. Like there's different things like presenting female while cosplaying someone had on Saturday, just talking about like if you're presenting female in cosplay, the challenges you might have and how to advocate for yourself. Because as you know, there could be like some issues that come up through sexism, etc. And they have a lot of other sort of panels and events that are related to queerness. Like there's a queer nerd poetics event they had too. That's a really big like queer nerd poetry showcase. So there's different nerds who won't draw comics, but they do spoken word poetry performances.
Oh, nice.
And then there's also a lot of other things that happen. And they have different things in different areas. So you can go and figure out like what you want to see. But on Saturday, I was mostly walking around the exhibitors hall. It was actually much bigger than I expected because I thought it was in the one section. I thought I finished it, but then I realized there's a whole other section I totally missed. So it like was actually really, really big. There were a ton of vendors.
Oh wow. Yeah, let's just talk about some of those vendors. And it looks like this next photo here is from the vendor hall.
Yeah, that's in the vendors hall.
Okay, yeah. Can you tell me about some of the vendors that were over there?
Yeah, there are a lot of different vendors are there. So there's a mix of artists who do fan art. So as they draw fan art from comics, movies, anime, manga, music, etc. But then they also have other vendors like one of their sponsors is Squishables. So
Ooh.
like the stuffed animal company.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Squishables, which is based in New York City too, they were one of the sponsors. So they had a really big booth there too. And then they also have other booths for like queer nonprofits that you can learn about.
Oh, that's so
So Geeks
cool.
Out's the one that runs it, but there's also some other organizations that are local that they're highlighting. And then they also have something called community tables. So it's kind of where the nonprofits are, I think. So with community tables, it's basically a space where you can have a table in the exhibitors hall that's really for charities, nonprofits, outreach groups, educational groups, or public health related providers.
Mm.
So that way they can go in and, for example, the Center for Suicide Awareness was there,
Mm-hmm.
and Queer Social was there too, which is basically like they curate different events for LGBTQ people looking for friends and community. So I actually took some pamphlets from some of the different communities that were there.
Mm, that's nice. Yeah, sounds like it was a very community focused event. They were really also looking out for the community as well and also promoting some community resources. I mean,
Yep.
I when I used to attend, when I'm writing my book, I was talking about YaoiCon and the issues I had with YaoiCon. I mean, like yeah, like it's okay to like boys love. It's okay to identify as a fujoshi, but what was I felt was kind of missing from that space were resources for the queer community. So it's just so
Mm-hmm.
nice to like just like you mentioned that there was a panel called like presenting femme in cosplay because crossplay, as you and I know, is likely going to be a much more outdated term in the future. Because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then also just knowing that there's community organizations that are there for attendees is also a step in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I saw this image here that you shared, like favorite queer character or story. What was your contribution to this?
Yeah, so my contribution was Portrait of the Lady on Fire. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, done by my favorite lesbian director. So Celine Siama, and of course I had to write it down because I did not see it there.
Yeah, I need to check out that movie. I'm always down for like just checking out more queer media. I've been like I need to send you this. But there is this Chinese manga that is Yuri and that it's very sexy. It's about these two lesbian femmes working in cinema and they're just kind of like in the middle of working on like this fantasy drama. You're probably aware of like what I'm talking about. And they end up falling in love, and the artwork is
Oh,
very
wow.
pretty. So I need to send that to you because I think you might like that.
Yeah, please send it. I don't think I've read it yet.
Yeah, it's called
And then
Miss
also like
Good, Miss Good. So I'll send that over to you.
yes, please send it. But
Hmm.
yeah, I highly recommend Portrait of a Lady on Fire. It's an amazing, amazing movie, and it's the director's lesbian. The actual one of the actresses plays the main character is the director's ex,
Oh,
so
that's
she cast her ex in
hilarious.
it.
Mm.
Yeah, but you can sort of tell her ex is still her muse. It's like really great, and then it's also historically accurate and like beautiful costumes, like beautiful costume design in this
Oh,
movie.
you had me. I mean, lesbians, costume design, like that's my
Yep,
aesthetic.
yep. So beautiful. Highly recommend. But it's kind of sad. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I cry every time I watch it. But it's really good.
Mm. If I were to like just add mine there, I would definitely put Uten and Anthe because those are my OG anime lesbians. And then I would also put in there was an indie game I was playing a couple years ago during lockdown. It's like Hong Kong
Mhm.
like 87 and is again about two Hong Kong lesbians, Michelle and Sam, and I just love the artwork. And if you love city pop vibes, this is all about that aesthetic. It's like 80s lesbians. So I love it.
Yay! Oh, also, I got the thing. So basically, speaking of Utana, that same booth, the one where you can write down our favorite queer character or story, they had a trivia game thing where it's like guess the film and win goodies. And so I won because because I'm an Utana fan, so I guessed immediately Utana. So it says this queer anime classic had the NYC premiere of its movie at the 2003 New York LGBTQ plus film festival. Hint: the movie is a follow up to the anime which aired in the 90s. I was like, Revolution Girl Utana! And so then
That
they
is
gave
one
me a
wild
rainbow
movie.
eraser.
I have
Yeah.
so many nostalgia memories of Utena. Like, first of all, I want to remake my Utena cosplay because that was my first cosplay, believe it or not. And then
Oh my
this,
gosh.
yeah, I want to remake my Utena cosplay. I cosplay as Utena from like the TV series. And then my friend Sora, my bestie in high school, she went to a different high school than I did, and she missed out on her prom. And I'm like, Sora, since you're my anthy to my Utena, when you're here for Anime Expo, I will make a prom for you. So on the last day, I played Toki ni Aiwa, and we just like waltzed around the Hyatt lobby. It was the best.
That sounds amazing.
Hmm. All right. So, looks like these are photos from Sunday. Looks like you cosplayed as Lisa
Yeah,
from.
I cosplayed Lisa
I'm so proud of
from
you.
Genshin
Thank.
Impact.
Yes, like I need to get my Jean cosplay going because I had made Jean. I could always go as standard Jean. So yeah, so glad to see you cosplaying as Lisa here.
Yeah, thank you. It was my first time cosplaying as Lisa. So on Sunday, I decided I'm gonna cosplay. For last day, I'm gonna cosplay, and it was really nice. What in that picture that you see, it's me and my friend Christian's there, and then my new friends are here too. Where I last minute joined the cosplay contest with them, so it's kind of funny. Like I went to the cosplay contest as, like a spectator, and then I got convinced to enter, but I was like, I'm with press, and then they were like, it's okay, you can still enter. It's for everybody. I'm like, oh, okay. So then I was in line, and then these other Genshin Impact cosplayers are like, "Oh, want to join us? Or you don't have to. You don't want to." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I can join you." So we just like did this, and then we somehow ended up winning like not first place. We won like one of the rankings, and it was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so confused. What happened?"
Oh, that's so amazing. And that's cool. You had like a catching and you had a primo gem here. That's awesome. I love
The
it.
primo gem was amazing. I was like, "Where did you get this?"
I've been seeing a lot of folks like cosplaying as the primo gem at conventions. Like, oh my god, I love this.
Honestly, we should do that. It seems like a really comfy cosplay. Like that'd be a great like late night or Sunday cosplay. Just be like, I'm a primo gem.
Oh my god, I would totally be down for like a late night primo gem
Oh
thing.
my god, I really want a primo gem group. If you're down, like just get a group of people all just
Swing
like
around as
primo
primo
gems. Like
gems,
so
like
many
you know you
primo
want
gems.
us.
Literally,
You know you're thirsting for
the more
us.
the better. Literally, the
Hmm.
more the better, right?
Hmm. Yeah, and
But
looks
yeah,
like.
it was really fun
Hmm.
chatting with other Genshin fans, and then there's also the judges were super friendly and nice too. And one of the judges was actually a writer I really like, Alyssa Wong. So they're actually one of the guests at the con who was also one of the judges and had a booth there.
Oh, nice. All right, and the next photo we have here is y'all just hanging out. Looks like I would assume an artist alley, and you're with a Vash and Wolfwood cosplayer.
Yeah, so the Wolfwood cosplayer is one of my friends, and then the Vash cosplayer is their partner. So they're really cute. 'Cause they're doing a couple cosplay because we
Aw.
all ship. Well, I don't know if everyone, but like three of us all ship Vashwood. It's like Vash and
Oh,
Wolfwood,
Vashwood
and
has been a
actually
thing with me since like the early 2000s. So you're preaching to the
same
choir
like.
here.
I was saying, like, literally, like, I remember watching Try Guy. I think I was in middle school, like, with my mom, and we both were like, Vashwood. Like, literally, me and my mom both shipping them. But yeah, Vashwood. I actually haven't seen Vash. I mean, the new one, Trigun Stampede, yet. So when I met them, they were telling me about Stampede without spoilers and telling me that I should watch it
You
because I
should.
hadn't seen it yet. I actually did start it. I started like a day or two ago, so I'm only like 4 episodes in, so not very far yet. But so far, it's really great. I just feel so
Yes.
nostalgic watching it.
I know, right? Because there's like a lot of nostalgia anime out there that I just been like just watching. Like, oh my god, like I'm just having a lot of feels come back, and it's very interesting that we're talking about FlameCon here. Wolfwood was the second cosplay I've done where I presented masculine. The first time I presented masculine. I keep forgetting I've ever done this costume. First time I ever presented masculine in cosplay was cosplaying as Shinji. from Evangelion.
Wait, from Evangelion? I did not know you cosplayed Shinji.
I will send you a photo of me cosplaying as Shinji because I
Please,
forgot
please.
that this happened. And
I
this,
really want to cosplay Kaoru, but I just haven't done it yet.
I was just even writing in my book, like, yeah, I was watching Evangelion. I related to Shinji. I was waiting for my Kaoru. Of course, that's like when I was like, what, 14? I was waiting for my
Oh
Kaoru.
my god.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah, but Wolfwood was like the second character that I presented masculine as. And damn, I look good
That's
as
so
Wolfwood.
cool.
I'll send you photos because, like,
Can you
yes, I will.
please, please? I want to see the photos. Also, can you guess which character was my first time presenting masculine?
Which character you presented masculine? I want to say something something Homestuck.
No, before Homestuck. A long time ago.
A
Before
long
Homestuck.
time ago, because I remember
Before
you through the
Homestuck. I was into
Homestuck
Homestuck
fandom.
like I was in a Homestuck fandom like 20. I started I think 2010 maybe in that fandom or May 2009, but this was before then. This was like 2008,
2008. I want to say
I
something
think.
something Hitalia.
No, this was like before Hitalia. Well,
Before
no, same time as
Hitalia.
Hitalia, but not Hitalia. But
I
before I cosplay Hitalia, this is like my second cosplay ever. So my first cosplay ever was Reki from Haibane Rame,
oh
and then
wow.
my second cosplay ever
Hmm.
was a male character.
Okay, yeah, I'm drawing a blank right now because all my wildest guess would be Kyon from Haruhi.
It was Kyoya from or in High School Host Club.
Oh yeah, wow, like that takes me back.
Really old.
Yeah, I cosplayed as
Bro, I don't
Haruhi
even
from
have a
Ho Host
picture of
Club
it.
like back in '09.
Yeah, I think that 09 is probably when I did it.
Hmm.
09.
Yeah, I probably we could probably use Kyoya in our group because I didn't like the Kyoya in our group. He was very abusive, but you have been a better Kyoya than
That's too
him.
bad. I could
Yeah,
be a better Kyoya.
you
I
are
was
definitely a
way
better
better
Kyoya.
Kyoya. But and then right after that I cosplayed as China from Hitalia. So Hitalia's pretty close from that guess.
All right, so the next photo here is like looks like y'all are at Arts Alley, and it looks like I want to say like yeah, tell us about this person you're with.
Yes, I'm with Alyssa Wong. This is the guest I told you about earlier. So they're
Mm-hmm.
really cool. They're queer and they write a lot of great fiction, comics, and game stories. So they actually wrote for Star Wars. They did like Star Wars, Dr. Aphra, War of the Bounty Hunters,
Ooh,
Potion Number One. So have you read those comics? But they did those, and they also wrote for Marvel. Like some of the comics were Deadpool, Alligator Loki, Iron Fist, Extreme Carnage, and then DC. So actually, when I was there, I bought two of their new DC comics, Spirit World, and it's really cute. It looks like they're cosplaying as the main character of Spirit World,
oh,
like
that's
of
so
their
cool.
comic. Yeah, like in the thing. But I mean the photo, yeah. So and it's also really cool because in Spirit World, like the main character is queer and Asian, which is like super rare. And it's like in DC.
Nice.
So I got autographed copies, which is really fun. And then they have like three different covers for each edition, like each comic volume. So it was really hard because all the art was so pretty, but I couldn't justify buying like three copies of the same comic. So I just stuck with like I had to do like eating me to and figure out which art I wanted.
That's awesome that you were able to like just have one-on-one time with a creator at an event like this because one of the things I
Yeah,
like
it's
about
so
Comic
cool.
Cons is just like talking to like all the artists there, especially the ones that actually worked on comics.
I know, it's so cool.
Because now you kind of have a personal, like have a now you have kind of like a personal connection to that piece of media.
Definitely.
And it looks like in this final photo here, it looks like this was like from the cosplay contest.
Yes, so in that final photo there, that is from the cosplay contest. So you can see that Vashwood also won. So they won
Yay!
for like the construction one, like the actual craftsmanship one. And then for us it's like first, second, third. And yeah, so here we are on the stage and everyone was super nice.
Aw.
And I actually really, really loved the Hollywood Barbie that won. Do you see the Barbie dress?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I
There are a
just
few people I saw cosplaying as Barbie dolls, which I thought was amazing, especially with the Barbie movie that was recently out.
yeah, I also cosplayed as Barbie from the Barbie movie during San Diego Comic Con. Like, wait, I have that dress in my closet. Okay, I'm wearing this.
Nice.
All right. Before we get into final thoughts, yeah, tell us about your about Uniqueso here, Alice.
Sure. So one of our sponsors, Unique So, is where I get all of my contact lenses from. So you can get contact lenses here, whether they're circle lenses to use for cosplay, or you can get like fashion lenses or even dailies. Like I get my daily disposable ones from here too. So they always have great sales going on, and you can use my code PNE PEONY to get 10% off your order. They also have wigs too, so they have a lot of cosplay wigs. That's actually where I got my Loatini wig from Vocaloid. I got from Uniqso.
Wonderful. All right, let's talk about some final thoughts on FlameCon. So, how would you describe the overall vibe of FlameCon?
Overall vibe is super friendly, super chill. Like the vibe is everyone's really nice. No one's being disrespectful or weird. Like everyone's just super friendly, and it feels like a community. Definitely a community driven convention.
I love that. And who would you recommend this convention to?
I would definitely recommend this to everyone who's into fandom and who's queer. This is definitely a safe space for you. And even if you're not queer but an ally, I highly recommend you come to support queer artists and creators because, as an ally, we still need your support and would really love to also see you come out and support us. So I think it's a great space for anyone who wants to support the queer community, or, of course, if you're directly part of the queer community, we want you here.
Yeah, that sounds like a great event. Like I would totally go if I was closer, but I'm just glad that there was a space for this for queer fandom because I've been wanting to have this space since I started going into fandom conventions in the early 2000s. Like the closest we had was YowieCon, but then again it was more like, "Hey, do you like boy love?" Like, "Yeah, here you go." But like I wanted something that was more community focused and that had something to do
Mhm.
with the queer community. Not that I don't like yaoi. I mean, I'm more I have a preference more for Yuri and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I
it's
mean, as a lesbian, I prefer Yuri too, but I feel like yaoi is more accessible. There's just like so much more yaoi out
oh,
there.
totally.
Yeah.
And then because I remember like I think the first time I really came out was Anime Expo 2000 and I realized I was just sitting at a table like, "Oh my God, everyone at this dinner table is all queer." And I was like, "Wait, is this the queer kids table? Because hi, I'm bi." And I think that was the first time I ever came out to people. I was at an anime convention when I was like
That's amazing.
15.
I love that.
Yeah, like, oh my God, we're the queer kids table. So yeah, that's like one of my
Oh
favorite
my god,
stories
so
from
cute.
conventions. And then one of my few friends was like, "Yeah, I have the Utena manga. I have all of it in my hotel room." Like, "Yeah, I want to take a look at it. Like, let's go."
Mhm.
But anyway,
That's so cool.
yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Alice, on FlameCon. Sounds like it was a really amazing event. And would you go back next year? Sounds like yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I definitely want to go back next year. So definitely fingers crossed I can go for press. But even if not, if I don't get approved for press, I'll definitely go either way and just support them. I really want to go back next year and hopefully stay longer because on Saturday they also had a dance party event after, but
Ooh.
I didn't get to go because I had a concert. So actually right after the con on Saturday, I had to go to New Jersey for the Blackpink concert. So I
Envious.
couldn't go to their so I couldn't go to their like after party thing, but I hope next year it'll be like free weekend so I can also go to their after party. Guys, sounds really fun too.
Oh, absolutely. All right. That was our take on FlameCon. But before we wrap up the show, Alice, tell us more about Yes Style.
Sure. So Yes Style is a really great website where you can get tons of products. They have fashion for both women and men, and any gender that you identify with. You can definitely find cool clothes. They also have beauty products, Japanese, Korean, Taiwanese beauty products are imported, like whether it's makeup, skincare, or hair care, like body lotion, etc. And then they also have lifestyle products, so like home goods and things like that. And they always have lots of deals. You can see the summer clearance sale right now until where they have 80% off. They're always having sales like that. And then you can also use my coupon code 3pearls to get another discount. And you can actually layer that on top of any other discounts on the site.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, that's a wrap for another edition of Convention Tea. We're glad that you can join us for our FlameCon episode, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Alice will be back at FlameCon next year. But I have no doubt that we'll be invited as press again because we gave them such an amazing review. So definitely, if you're in the greater tri-state area, come out and support FlameCon. We need more folks supporting conventions like this. And again, thank you again for tuning in to another edition of Convention Tea. My name is Dame Scarlett Asmol, and we got Alice. And remember, the convention is what you make of it. So make it a good one. And we'll see you at the con. Good night, everyone.